50 Cent and his mother Sabrina Jackson is a story that has followed hip-hop for more than 40 years. King Harris, the 21-year-old son of T and Tiny, recently posted a video telling 50 Cent to dig up his late mother and share a picture of her grave. Since that moment, the internet has been buzzing nonstop. So let's look at how everything began and why the situation feels so heavy when you understand the history between 50 Cent and his late mother. To understand why King Harris went on camera and said those things about 50 Cent's mother, you have to go back to where this conflict started. The origin of the tension is actually simple, and it begins with Versus. T explained that he no longer respects 50 Cent because of what happened with their rumored Versus battle. In a clip from an upcoming episode of $1 Million worth of game shared online by co-host Gilly the Kid, T.I. spoke about the battle that he says was supposed to take place. For anyone unfamiliar, Versus was a platform where two artists faced off by playing their catalogs. It turned into a huge cultural moment during and after the pandemic. Fans would tune in to watch legendary artists go back and forth with their biggest songs. According to T.I., he and 50 Cent had already agreed to participate in one. T.I. said the goal was simply to honor each other's music. He explained that they had talked about it directly and that the idea did not come from nowhere. He said they had been in Los Angeles working shows together when the conversation happened. So this was not a random challenge where T.I. suddenly called out 50 without warning. According to Tip, they had spoken about it several times. They had worked together in some capacity and even performed shows in LA together. T.I. said the plan from years earlier was that he would bring up the idea publicly first and then 50 would reply. But when T.I. mentioned the Versus battle in public, he claims 50 suddenly acted like he had no idea what he was talking about. Imagine making an agreement with someone behind the scenes. They tell you to go ahead and announce it first. Then once you do, they act confused, like the conversation never happened. That is what T.I. says occurred, and that is why he became upset. T.I. did not hold back with his words toward 50 Cent. After the situation around the battle fell apart, he said clearly that he did not want to share a stage with him and that he no longer respected him. Those are serious words coming from T.I. When he says he does not respect someone, he means it. He even went further and wrote a comment saying that 50 was playing with his name and hinted that only one of them was a rat in real life. He claimed to have paperwork and said his own records were available online. He told 50 to step in the ring or stay quiet and live in fear. He also called him soft and said he had lost his respect completely. That moment pushed things to another level. Accusing someone of being a rat is one of the harshest insults in hip-hop, and T.I. said it publicly. He posted it for everyone to see. That is when the situation really started to heat up. The issue began because T.I. believed 50 was avoiding the Versus battle they had talked about doing. Instead of confirming it, 50 took the trolling approach, online posting jokes and memes, but never actually agreeing to the battle. Anyone who has followed 50 Cent knows this is how he handles beef. He does not immediately record a diss song or jump on live stream shouting. His strategy is trolling. He shares memes, cracks jokes, and turns people into punchlines. That is exactly what he did to T.I. But one post ended up changing everything. The tension grew again when 50 Cent shared a post that included a photo of T.I.'s wife Tiny Harris with a caption telling T.I. to keep his name out of his mouth. The post quickly spread online, and it did not take long for T.I.'s son King Harris to react. That image pushed the whole situation in a completely different direction. What started as a normal rap dispute suddenly became personal. Once family gets mentioned, things stop being just entertainment. Mentioning a wife or a mother turns it into family business. That is exactly when King Harris stepped into the conversation, bringing a romantic partner into a verbal fight between men is often seen as crossing a line, but 50 did it and it caught the attention of King Harris, the 21-year-old son of T.I. and Tiny. On Sunday, February 22nd, the young rapper went to his Instagram stories with an angry rant after the 50-year-old mogul posted an unflattering picture of Tiny while his online feud with T.I. continued. King Harris is not just a random person joining the argument. He is the oldest of the 3 children shared by T.I. and Tiny, including Major Philant, who is 17, and Aries Diana Harris, who is 9. King is their first child together, and he has been known to the public since he was young. He appeared on the family's reality shows while growing up and has been building his own career as a rapper. Over time, he has made it clear that he does not tolerate disrespect toward his family. So when 50 posted that photo of Tiny, King reacted quickly. 50 captioned the post telling people once again to keep his name out of their mouths. King replied in the comment section asking if 50 was ready for a war and asking about his mother. That was the first direct shot. King then moved to his Instagram stories to say even more. Over the weekend, King Harris went off on social media after 50 Cent trolled his mother by posting the unflattering picture. In response, King brought up 50's late mother, Sabrina Jackson, during a long video rant. That is when things became extremely personal. King recorded a video that looked like it was taken inside a car, and he spoke openly without holding back. In the video, he referenced Sabrina Jackson, who passed away in 1983. He told the Candy Shop rapper to post a picture of his late mother and repeated that Tiny should be left out of the argument. King questioned how people like 50 were raised and again told him to go honor his mother. The video was not short. King kept talking and repeated his points several times. He said he was not raised the same way and that he would never speak about someone else's mother like that. But then he said something that shocked the internet. King told 50 Cent to dig up his mother and post a photo of her. He repeated the statement more than once. He also told 50 to put flowers on her grave while praising Tiny as a legend. He mentioned her work with Xscape and her Grammy success. But he did not stop there. After that, King Harris shared a photo of a headstone on his Instagram story and wrote asking if that was where 50's mother was buried. He also posted a picture of a grave showing the name Sabrina Jackson and added an angry caption telling 50 to dig up his mother. The image showed a real grave with the name of a real woman who passed away years ago. That picture spread across Instagram, where millions of people could see it. On his page, King also shared a gravesite photo that included the names of 50 Cent's mother and grandmother along with a video clip of the rapper in court from an old case where he faced accusations of trampling and assaulting 3 women at a concert. King also posted a photo showing one of 50's sons sitting on his lap. So he did more than just mention the mother in a rant. He searched for the grave image and posted the tombstone itself alongside court footage. For many people watching, that was the moment the situation crossed the line. A lot of viewers felt that the argument had gone too far. While 50 did start the issue by posting the photo of Tiny, the internet began asking whether King pushed things beyond the limit. Posting an embarrassing photo of someone who is alive is very different from talking about digging up someone's deceased mother. Those two things are not the same, and that difference made the moment stand out even more. To understand why King Harris's comments hit so hard, you have to know who Sabrina Jackson was and what her death meant to 50 Cent. This is not just a Random mention of a dead parent. There is a real painful story behind it. Curtis Jackson, known as 50 Cent, did not have an easy beginning in life. He was born on July 6, 1975, to his single mother, Sabrina Jackson, who was only 15 years old at the time. He grew up in a neighborhood in Queens, New York, heavily affected by drugs and crime. Because of this environment, his childhood was filled with serious hardship. Sabrina supported herself and her son by selling drugs long before Curtis was born. She was still a teenager when she had him and raised him alone in South Jamaica, Queens. The area they lived in was extremely tough, especially during the height of the crack era. Sabrina was deeply connected to that world. Even though she was young, she was determined to provide for her child, and she refused to beg for help. In an interview with Spin, 50 Cent once said his mother never viewed welfare or working at Burger King as real options. She chose what she believed was necessary to support her son. That statement reveals a lot about Sabrina's personality. She did not want charity and she did not want minimum wage work. Instead, she saw an opportunity to make money on the streets, and she took it. She sold drugs on Old South Road in South Jamaica, Queens, and eventually became a known figure in that underground business. Despite being in a field where few women operated, Sabrina earned respect and fear in the area. She was not just a minor participant. She was someone people recognized and talked about. The people connected to her world had money and status. In an interview with The Guardian, 50 Cent explained that the only people he saw growing up who had expensive things were people connected to his mother's lifestyle. They drove Cadillacs, wore costly jewelry, and displayed signs of financial freedom. That was the first example of wealth he ever saw as a child. For a young boy growing up without a father, that became his model for success. The cars, the jewelry, and the lifestyle all came from what his mother was doing. But there was another side to Sabrina as well. She was a single parent who played a major role in shaping 50 Cent's life. He once said that she was both his mother and his father. She was tough and strict, which meant he never knew when it was okay to show emotion. She pushed him to be strong and told him not to cry, which influenced the person he eventually became. Then in 1983, everything changed forever. Sabrina Jackson died that year in what investigators believed was a homicide. Authorities suspected that someone drugged her, leaving her unconscious inside her apartment before the place was set on fire. Her death was not natural, and it marked a tragic turning point in 50 Cent's life. She did not die in an accident. 50 once said someone put something in her drink and then turned the gas on. He explained that after her death, whenever something went wrong in his life, he would think that if his mother was still here, things would have been different. Someone took his mother's life. Someone poisoned her drink and turned on the gas before leaving the apartment. Even with those suspicious details, no one was ever arrested and no one was charged for the crime. The case was never solved. That is the truth 50 Cent has lived with for more than 40 years. His mother was killed when he was 8 years old, and the person responsible has never been held accountable. 50 was just a child when it happened, and the loss changed the course of his life. Over the years, he has spoken about how he dealt with it, or more accurately, how he avoided dealing with it. 50 Cent built his public image around being tough and never showing emotion. But when the topic turns to his mother, that image always cracks. In an interview with The Big Issue, he said the best word to describe how he felt after her death was shock. He said he could not understand what had happened. When you grow up with a single Parent that person becomes your entire world. When someone has two parents, losing one is already devastating. But when there is only one parent, that person is everything. They provide for you, protect you, guide you, teach you, discipline you, and stand beside you as your only support. When that one person disappears, it leaves nothing behind. That is what happened to 50 Cent. At first, he refused to accept it. He once explained to Oprah Winfrey that when his grandmother told him his mother was not coming back, he struggled to understand what that meant. He kept telling himself that she would return. Whenever someone reminded him that she was gone forever, it did not make sense to him. He was only 8 years old and could not understand that death was permanent. His grandmother would say she is not coming back, and he would respond by saying yes, she is. That was a child trying to make sense of something impossible. In another interview with Larry King, he admitted that he never truly dealt with the loss in those early years. He explained that because he was so young, he did not know how to process what had happened. Instead of therapy or talking about his emotions, he turned to the streets. After his mother passed away, Curtis went to live with his grandparents. But the pain and the emptiness changed the direction of his life. By the time he was 12, Jackson had already started selling drugs. His grandparents believed he was attending after-school activities, but instead he was carrying guns and drug money. At 12 years old, he was following the same path his mother once walked. He was on the streets selling drugs and living in a world that surrounded him. Growing up, the emptiness left by Sabrina's death pushed him toward that life. His grandmother, Beulah Jackson, eventually stepped in and raised him. In the VH1 documentary 50 Cent, The Origin of Me, he explained that she legally adopted him when he was still a child. She raised him as if he were her own son, and he has always shown gratitude for what she did. But even inside that home, there were difficult moments. 50 once explained that when he moved into his grandmother's house, several of his mother's siblings were still living there. One of his aunts did not like him being there because she had previously been the youngest in the family. Suddenly, the attention shifted toward him. He remembered moments when his grandmother would look at him quietly before calling him over and telling him to come here, baby. So even in the place that was meant to protect him, there were tensions and unspoken feelings. The only person who truly made him feel accepted was his grandmother. That is why when people mention 50 Cent's mother, they are not just saying a name. They are bringing up the entire childhood that shaped him. They are talking about the murder that changed his life forever. They are touching the most painful memory he has. 50 has openly said that he still carries that pain with him. He even created the show Power Book 3 Raising Kanan, which is loosely inspired by his early life. While discussing the story, he spoke about his mother again. He said there was a time when he was afraid of the people around him in the park, but he was even more afraid of his mother because she was strict and there was no escape from her discipline. He explained that as a single mother, she was everything in his life. That is the exact word he used. She was everything. Then one day when he was 8 years old, someone took her life and her killer was never found. Now think about what King Harris said. He told 50 Cent to dig up his dead mother. He posted an image of her tombstone and told him to go place flowers on her grave. That was not just an insult. That touched the deepest wound in 50 Cent's life, and anyone who knows his story understands that. The internet knew it too. Old clips of 50 Cent becoming emotional while talking about his mother started spreading. Again, videos of him speaking with Oprah about not understanding death as a child began circulating online. Interviews where he told Larry King that he never processed the loss properly were also being shared. People watched those clips while comparing them to King Harris's rant. So after everything that was said, how did 50 Cent respond? How did hip-hop's biggest troll react to a 21-year-old telling him to dig up his mother? On Sunday, February 22nd, 50 posted an image of Pepe the Frog on his Instagram page. He did not mention any names, but fans quickly understood who the message was aimed at. He followed it with another post simply captioned with a word LOL. That was his entire response. No long speech, no angry video, just a frog meme and 3 letters. For some people, that reaction was even more powerful than the rant because 50 did not give King the satisfaction of seeing him react. But many people still wondered if it hurt him. 50 Cent has spoken openly about his mother and even cried during some interviews. He sat across from Oprah, struggling to explain his feelings and told Larry King he never fully processed the loss. Now a young rapper was telling him to dig her up. 50 later posted another frog photo, again with the caption LOL, and people in the comments joked that the frog resembled King. Then he went even further. He shared a video of 2 podcasters mocking Tiny's appearance. So 50 doubled down with trolling. He posted the frog meme comparing King to the frog and followed it with a clip of people roasting Tiny and saying King looked just like her. One host even joked that if his wife looked like that, he would pray for the country, while another compared Tiny to a famous wrestler. Meanwhile, T.I. responded in his own way. He took the beef into the studio and recorded a diss track aimed at 50 Cent. In the song, T.I. called 50 a snitch and mocked him as someone who only acts tough online. He also claimed that paperwork exists with 50's name mentioned by someone in prison. That was a serious allegation aimed directly at 50's reputation. So the Harris family responded in different ways. King attacked personally on social media. T.I. released a diss track, and 50 responded with frog memes. What makes this situation stand out is the history behind it. 50 Cent lost his mother to murder when he was 8 years old. He has talked about that loss many times and even built shows inspired by it. No matter how much he jokes online, that pain never disappeared. He has admitted that himself when King Harris told him to dig up Sabrina Jackson. He aimed at the one thing 50 cannot laugh about. And even though 50 responded with a simple LOL, it does not mean the words had no effect. It means he did what his mother taught him when he was a child, when he was young and crying on the floor of their queen's apartment. She would tell him to get up and stop crying. So 50 got up, posted a frog, and wrote LOL. Then he kept moving forward. But the internet will not forget this moment, and neither will 50 Cent. The online back and forth between 50 and T.I. has now created another conflict between 50 and T.I.'s son, King Harris, after the mogul posted that controversial photo of Tiny. This also became 50's second public dispute with a rapper's son. following his 2026 feud with Christian King. Combs, the son of Diddy. For a while 50 has been joking about other artists' families. And now those families are fighting back in ways that strike directly at him. This situation is no longer just about versus or Instagram trolling. Now it involves family reputation and the boundaries that should never be crossed. At the moment, the argument exists through posts, clips, and online reactions. Like many rivalries in hip-hop, it may continue for a long time without a real ending. 50 started it by posting the photo of Tiny. King responded by attacking the most personal part of 50's life. Now both sides are standing their ground. T.I. is dropping diss tracks, King is posting graves, and 50 is posting frogs. But behind all the memes, insults, and music, there is a man who lost his mother when he was 8 years old and never received justice. That is the part of this story that truly stays with people, because beefs eventually fade, diss tracks are forgotten, and social media posts disappear. But losing a mother is a pain that never leaves. And 50 Cent knows that better than anyone. That is all for this video. If you found it informative, drop a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you do not miss the next one.